second in a recent trial, had an exhibition gallop at Hastings last Saturday, and Noel rode him on that occasion, so Noel's expecting a big run, Tony.
Yes, he is. He's a very capable horse, Tri Peter, and he's won a couple of races here. The odds $5.95 and $1.95 for the place, as we just have now Valentine Girl as she goes in, and Mary Elizabeth. Do you think they'll beat Valentine Girl?
Muralini's a chance, Tony.
There he is,
Fresh
tipping
up.
them at 10.30 and 2.60. Good on you. Now Valentine Girl is in the stalls, and the last going in now is Mary Elizabeth. Ready. Taylor Preston, 12,000. They're all loaded away. 1,200 metres the trip. He's happy. Racing off in a fair line here too. Mary Elizabeth back shortly after the start with Tri Peter. Now Valentine Girl's caught the start beautifully, leads out, although Au Revoir takes it on, and then Sonia Henney goes up handy. Miralini outside of Running John, then Tri Peter whipping around them, 3 out. Provincial King second to last in a small field, and the last is Mary Elizabeth as they work off the back. 850 metres to travel, and Valentine Girl is the leader from Au Revoir, and then a line of 3 back behind that. We've got Sonia Henney outside of Miralini, and Running John's tracking the leader. Then we have Tri Peter, who's up outside of Mary Elizabeth and Provincial King, and there's only 5 covering them as they move on to the 600 metres, and Valentine Girl still from Au Revoir, and over on the outside travelling wide is Sonia Henney. Just in behind them then over on the inside as they come up towards the 500 metres. The next is Running John, Miralini, Tri Peter back with Mary Elizabeth and Provincial King. She swings a little bit wide, Valentine Girl down to the 350 metres. Au Revoir's after it over on the outside, and then we've got Sonia Henney starting to run on as Mary Elizabeth through on the inside. Au Revoir out deep, goes up to Valentine Girl. Mary Elizabeth over on the inside of the 2. Tri Peter's arriving late. Au Revoir in front. Au Revoir from Mary Elizabeth. Valentine Girl, they hit it. Au Revoir. Au Revoir has won it from second, Mary Elizabeth, and then in very close photos, Tri Peter, Valentine Girl, not sure. Back behind these runners, Sonia Henney. They were followed Miralini, a little break, Provincial King, and Running John. He'll be the last of them home. No, she won the Trudy Thompson here, did Au Revoir at the beginning of the season. A real affinity with the Wanganui track. 2 starts, 2 wins for Au Revoir, as Auto Check will show us. She's in front here for Paul Shaler. Valentine Girl starting to weaken. Mary Elizabeth getting home on the inside, and in the green colours is Tri Peter as they head down towards the line. It's all over. Bye-bye. Au Revoir has got the win. The lineup for second's going to be interesting across the track here. Au Revoir's absolutely bolted in, hasn't she? She's got right away from them the last little bit. And I think Mary Elizabeth, and that is close. Tri Peter, Valentine Girl with Sonia Henney, the next of them home. So Alexander Au Revoir, 2 out of 2 here at Wanganui. She's way above average.
Yes, she created a big impression, winning at outside odds of something like 30 to 1 at her debut in the Trudy Thompson last year, and today in the hands of Paul Shaler, she's really dealt to them in the last little bit, and Paul looks across, he's got them well covered. Second, Mary Elizabeth and Teresa McDonald, so the 2 lightly weighted horses, Au Revoir with 47.5 and Mary Elizabeth 48.5. That was the telling factor here in the event, and I guess this is a popular continuing the very good run of form displayed by young Paul Shaler attached to the grades. He's just recently been sponsored by Rod's TAB, Victoria Street in Hawera, and that's Mr. Rod Pulford, who's a part owner of Libra Bay. From the grey stable he's elected, you can have a close-up look at the rear end of his silks. He's got Rod's TAB just penciled in there, and they'll be delighted to sponsor this promising young rider. All the TABs around the country getting behind these riders. We've seen Brett Scott sponsored by the Eltham TAB. So as Au Revoir comes back after taking out the Taylor Preston 1200, we'll take a look at our Burlington Air Express win movers for race 8 from Ellerslie, the Jaguar 1400. Number 3, Natera King from 6.45 and a little to 6.05. 5 Strawberry Bull has moved out 40 cents to 7.50. Number 2, Iron Clipper from 5.75 out to $6 even. 7 King City from 17s into 15s. 6 Stanley Road from 9s out to 10s. And 8 Adonia, 6.40 into 6.35. Number 1 Tangarakau at 3.75 and 1.60. 2 Iron Clipper at 6 and 2. 3 Natera King at 6 and 1.85. 4 Our Christina, 11.30 and 3.40. 5 Strawberry Bull at 7.50 and 2.55. 6 Stanley Road at 10 and 3, 7 King City 15 and 440, 8 Adonia 6.35 and 2.30, number 9 Tileman 10.50 and 2.50. Number 10 is out. The Jaguar 1400 starts at 25 past 3. On the track, number 1 Tangarauka has had 9 runs for 3 wins and 3 placings. One of those wins an amateur riders event in the hands of the mighty Mike Brown. At the distance, number 2 Iron Clipper 10 for 2 wins and 3 placings. Going to have another look here at Au Revoir. Mary Elizabeth and Teresa McDonald. There's Valentine Gill, but look to Au Revoir. Really been unwound by Paul Shaler. He's learnt to ride with a stick in an awful hurry, hasn't he? Made the horse find the line. Look at this boy. The horse is enjoying the win too, to pay 7 even and $1.90. Number 9 Mary Elizabeth second at $2.70 at 3 Try Peter, a good run, fresh up at $1.90. The 8 and 9 Quinella $34.90. The 8-9-3 Trifecta $465.05. The winner's margin was 3 lengths. A neck to third, half ahead to fourth. They've run 1:15.8. The double on races 7 and 8, 2 Quality Prince with 8 Au Revoir, $62.80. Concession with 9 Mary Elizabeth at $30.45. The substitute was number 4, and that was Valentine Girl. Ended up running 4th. An update on pick 6, First Division 50,000. Leg 1 was taken out by 9 Lalacious. Leg 2, number 7 Money for Nothing. And leg 3, the old bloke, number 2 Lord Zerito. 3,033 live units remaining in the First Division. Let's take a break.
Desert Sun is finishing very well indeed. Desert Sun eating up the ground on the outside and coming right through to storm into the lead. Desert Sun from the back of the field has taken this race by the scruff of his neck and is going to win this one very easily indeed. Desert Sun striding clear under Willie Carson to complete a double for Henry Cecil. It's Desert Sun from Risner and Claret in third.
DB Draft Winter Carnival. 2 days of great entertainment at Ellerslie on Saturday the 3rd and Monday the 5th. With fun for the kids, live music, the DB Draft Clydesdales, great racing and great competitions with 10 $100 betting vouchers to be won. The feature races, the TV Guide Hurdles on Saturday and the DB Draft Steeplechase on Monday. Racing starts at 11:15. Be there for 2 great days at Ellerslie.
And welcome back to Ellerslie. Of course, we've just seen the running of the TV Guide Hurdle, and it was taken out by the sentimental favourite for the event, Lord Zerito, trained by Keith Horton and Graham Rogerson at Tuhi Karamea, and ridden once again by Peter Timms, who joins me once again. And Pete, congratulations. This morning when I interviewed you, you said all you had to do was put some super glue on your backside and stay with them today to be right there.
Yeah, and Keith even paid for the super glue, George.
You got the money, and it was a courageous performance, and he always seemed to be travelling well.
Yeah, today he jumped nice, and I was always travelling pretty easy, and from about the half-mile line, I thought as long as I don't fall off him, I should get the money.
Now, talking about falling off him, of course, you fell off him in the same race a few years ago when looking a winning chance.
Yeah, I fell off him when I was challenging for the lead at the last fence in the Northern, and that was a year before I won it. And so this year I made sure I didn't fall off again.
There was a lot of talk about the horse being a rising 13-year-old, but he still retained plenty of dash today.
Oh, he's a great old horse, yeah. He's, those Amazons are tough, and when the track's like they are, they're hard to beat.
We've got the last 500 or 600 metres of the race, Pete, and we'll talk it through with you as we have a look at the last 500 or 600 metres of this year's TV Guide Hurdle race. At this stage, you'd levelled up alongside of Neil's Hope, and you seem to be travelling much the better.
Yeah, I had a look before. He had about 6 lengths on me at the 600, but I had a look around, and there's next one was about 6 lengths behind, and I always knew I had the horse in front covered. At the second to last, out went Neil's Hope. You had a decent old look too. I sort of not been nasty or nothing, but I said good job.
They come down, you've got one to go here, and you're well clear. What are your thoughts at the moment?
I wasn't going to stop riding him. I was going to make him jump the last and make sure we got the money.
You've jumped the last, you're 4 or 5 lengths in front of Mighty Good Fun, and obviously the race well under control.
I was more tired than the horse, I think, George. Yeah.
And as we slow the replay down and going towards the post, it's great to see a horse like this. You know, he's rising, 13 years old, get the money.
Especially with 64 kilos too, and a very small sort of horse. So, yeah, he's a tough little horse, yeah.
Now, he obviously has redeemed himself after you parting company with him last time out.
Yeah, actually, as it's worked out, it was the best thing I could have done. He might have had 65.5 kilos, so we might have got the money.
Now, I heard you at the after-race function, the presentation there. You mentioned it was good that Graham Rogerson didn't make a special trip over here today.
Yeah, I seen him at Tiwapa, but he sort of put the jinx on me, or he sort of psyched me up a fair bit. Oh, Rogie, I did my apprenticeship with him and that, and he winds you up on that, but no, he's good, yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned that. I mentioned earlier today that it was the old firm back in action again. The Graham Rogerson, Peter Tim's team, and Lord Zarito. He's been there about as long as what you have.
Yeah, we did our apprenticeship together, and we never used to get on as young fellas, but as we're getting a bit older, we seem to get on a bit better. And Keith, I'd like to thank him for doing a great job too.
He certainly has been very loyal and sentimental to the horse.
Yeah, he's been loyal to the horse and to me. Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks, Pete, and great to be another winner of such a great race.
Thanks, George.
Peter Tim's the successful rider aboard, of course, Lord Zarito, the star of the hour here at Ellerslie today after his very easy win in the on the card here, as we're just having one or two minor technical problems. Race number 8 is coming up for decision, and we head round to the start with the compliments of our DB Draft Racing Service. And race number 8 is the Jaguar 1400. And favourite for the event is number 1, Tunga Rakau. Surprisingly so, not surprisingly so too, I should say. Last start winner on the track, opened at $3.75, now at $3.90 to be ridden by Richard Doyle. Tunga Rakau trained by Colin Gillings and Richard Yule. And $3.90 and $1.75 the money for Tunga Rakau. Number 3 is Natira King, and Natira King to be ridden by David Shepherd, paying $5.10 and $1.70 the place. Ultra consistent performer, a good third last week at Ottawa Park behind Duke Steel. No Duke Steel in this race, and I think Natira King represents a bit of value, even though it is second favourite at $5.10 to win. Another chance in the race is number 7, King City. David Peake has the mount, one for value at $13 and $3.30. Finished 8th behind Duke Steel last week. But a horse that does handle the heavy track, has won on a heavy track before. And the 1400 metre journey has been successful over that, as well as being a winner here on the course. So several factors in the favour of King City. 6 is Stanley Road, trained by Charlie Faulkner at Avondale. Liana Hawes looking for her second winner of the day at $10.70 and $3.05. 6-year-old by Tipaninga. Stanley Road's last start, 5th, was here at Ellerslie on the 13th of May. And that was after leading for most of the way, just tied up over the final stages, but with that run under its belt, second back from a spell, should have derived a fair bit of benefit from that run as well. Number 8 is Adonia. And Adonia is at $7 and $2.25. Trudy Collett aboard. The horse trained by Tony Gillies, who of course will ride Balak King in Monday's DB Draft Steeples. And in his role as a trainer, he has 8 Adonia representing the stable. Eye-catching run 2 last start when finishing 3rd behind Woodstock at Tirapa. And a bit of support for number 8, Adonia. One we haven't seen is number 5, which is Strawberry Bull, all the way from Harwater, from the Clement stable. And these visitors have a tremendous strike rate up here at Ellerslie. $7.90 and $2.55 the money for 5 Strawberry Bull, with Lee Rutherford aboard. So last 2 to come into line. There's Iron Clipper, another big chance, number 2 moving in. And the last one up, so it'll be King City. Compliments of Radio Pacific. Let's get Albie Gaines' call on the Jaguar 1400.
Line ready, Jaguar 1400. Racing. Natira King bounced quickly to head out from Adonia, who's going after it and takes the lead soon after. Our Christine showing speed as well with Strawberry Bull. Stanley Road's just in behind the pace, followed by Iron Clipper in the grey with it too. On the inside is Tillman. A length and a half to the favourite Tangarakau, and a half on the outside then to King City. 7 lengths first to last. Our Christine taking them up the rise, led by a length on the inside Adonia. The visitor Strawberry Bull on its outside, 2 lengths away. Then we've got Tillman from on the rail, Natira King. Stanley Road followed by Iron Clipper, Tangarakau and Tilway King City. Off the back, 800 metres out in the Jaguar 1400, Our Christine, 3/4 Adonia, a length away on the outside, Strawberry Bull. Tillman's going pretty nicely next from Natira King, then Stanley Road and Iron Clipper. Tangarakau the favourite, about 7 or 8 lengths off them, and a length and a half to King City. 550 out. Adonia levels on the inside from Our Christine. A length and a half then Tillman ready to pounce, followed by Strawberry Bull on the inside. Natira King. Tangarakau the favourite with a job in front of it as they make the corner. Still about 7 or 8 lengths after them. Adonia to Our Christine and Tillman. There followed Natira King. Out wide is Stanley Road, Iron Clipper, and joining issue 2 on the inside now is Tangarakau. Adonia's in front with 200 metres to go. On the outside, Natira King from Tillman. Tangarakau, Iron Clipper and Strawberry Bull with Stanley Road, but Adonia's clear. Tangarakau's sprouting wings on the outside. Adonia, Tangarakau coming very quickly. Adonia last to beat Tangarakau. Third is going to be Natira King, Stanley Road, then Strawberry Bull, Iron Clipper, King City. Tillman and Our Christine is last in. Number 8.
Trudy Collett will take out the Jaguar 1400. And the horse trained by Tony Gillies at Mata Mata. Number 1, Tangarakau, really sprouted wings over the final stages. Just stride and a half too late, as we'll see on the auto check replay. The final stages, Adonia well in charge, looked set for a very easy win at this point. But now Tangarakau eating into that lead. Wider out, we've got Natira King and Stanley Road, and Strawberry Bull in behind these as well. Look at Tangarakau lunging at Adonia. But Trudy's wish comes true right at the post. The post does come into sight and Adonia falls in. Number 8 wins it ahead of 1, Tangarakau. And in third position will be number 3, Natira King, ahead of 6, Stanley Road. So Adonia, a 4-year-old bay mare by a brigade of guards out of Athena, is owned by Ari Thompson, trained by Tony Gillies at Mata Mata, and ridden by Trudy Collett, successful in the Jaguar 1400. We await the judges' call on the 8th. Let's have a look at the Burlington Air Express wind movers for the 9th from Ashburton. The ADT Securitas Pace. Number 1, Classical Gas, opened at $3.45, is in now to $2.80. 16 Oneida Splendor from $3.05 out to $3.65. 4 Triple Charm from $9.55 has drifted out to $11.05. 18 The Paragon from $28 out to $35. 3 Shot Down from 28 into 25, and 11 Apollo from 40 into 35. As we look at the market, Classical Gas is the hot favourite, $2.80, $1.45. Number 3 Shot Down is at 25 and $5.50. Triple Charm number 4, $11.05 and $2.80. Silco is at 27 and 6. Number 7 Miss Fergie, 16 and $4.25. 8 Holy Chip, $11.80, $2.95. Good odds for both Speedy Bromac and Maitland Gorge. Good odds as well for numbers 11, 13 and 14. 15 Mr Hobnob, $7.55 and $2.45. And Eden Splendor, $3.65, $1.60, and the Paragon number 18 at $35 and $7.75. 25 minutes before the race start time for race number 9, but Trudy Collett returns to scale, much to the delight of trainer Tony Gillies, just in shot as well, with Adonia, the winner of the Jaguar 1400. And on the tote, number 8, Adonia, has returned $7.20 and $2.15. Second at the line, number 1, Tangarakau, paid $1.65, and 3, Natira King was third at $1.55 the place. The 1 and 8, Quinella, pays $15.85. The 813 Trifecta, $131.70. So Adonia taking out the 8th event here at Ellerslie today, but we head south once again to Ashburton and link up with Rion Murtha.
Thanks once again, George. Glad to have you all back here at Ashburton with the mobile 2,400 metres about to take place now. This is the ADT Securitas Mobile Pace. A hot favourite for the race is number 1, Classical Gas. And there it is. looking as fabulous as ever. It was the horse voted as the best turned out horse in the birdcage before they went out onto the track. It's been an award for each of the races today, and a bottle of wine donated by the outgoing president, Helen Pope, last weekend, of course, as president of the Ashburton Club. So as a gesture, she's donating a bottle of wine to all of the horses, or the owners of the horses, I suppose, who are the best turned out in the respective races for the meeting. And this is the one that won the vote this time. Big horse, isn't it? Fabulous looking animal, Classical Gas. He hasn't had a lot of good luck in these last few races where he's been pegged as he got to the line in each of them after looking to be the winner about 100 or so metres out, and each time he's just gone under in the run to the line. So he'll be looking today, possibly with the slightly wetter track conditions than he's been running in, to be able to hold out to the finish, although today with the conditions the horses coming down the middle have managed to get up and nut the leader. So I dare say that Rick will be wanting to possibly change the tactics a little bit. He's been leading in most of his races up until now, so Rick May might decide to take cover and just see how the race turns out. But he's certainly been on the verge of winning, and it won't be too long, I think, before he breaks through for that first win if it's not this afternoon. Number 4 is Triple Charm, horse that's also in a very short career with only 4 starts to its credit, has amassed a pretty good form line of 2/3 and 2/4 from just the 4 starts. Comes up from Rosalind Bush, the Murray Swain stable down there. Earl's doing the driving, and horse that's expected to go fairly well, although it's being a little ignored by the punters at $9.50, $2.15. Triple Charm, been ultra consistent, and of course must be a chance in the race. A 3-year-old filly she is, and ran a fine place behind Hitch to Fitch, which won quite impressively at Addington last Saturday night. Miss Fergie there just in the foreground, and Miss Fergie being driven by Ali Malcolmson, number 7. Also forms pretty good. She's had a lot more starts though than Triple Charm. She's had nearly 30 starts. This is her 30th start, in fact. So far has had about 8 placings in a career, but recent form has been good. She went a good race at the Timaru meeting when she got left parked out for a long way, very wide in the running most of the way, and even though she was beaten, she didn't throw it in, and was beaten by Silk Brocade on that occasion, and really fought all the way to the line after doing quite a bit of extra during the course of the race. So you'll probably expect her to go a reasonable race in this race, Miss Fergie. Number 10 is Maitland Gorge. Aaron Soul does the driving. Tony's the trainer. That's his father, and Tony has done most of the driving behind Maitland Gorge. It hasn't been a lucky horse, really, in a lot of its racing. It was a black book entry there about three or four months ago when it had run a couple of good races. We had a good race here back in March for an unlucky 5th, and also a 4th here on the track at Hororata, when Hororata raced here back in the early autumn. So both of those runs suggested that Maitland Gorge was capable, but so far has yet to break through for that win. In fact, from 16 starts, it's yet to finish in the first 3 places. But as I said, luck hasn't always been on its side. Just moving up behind the Mobile Shot down there, very keen to get on the Mobile. I thought it was going to go through it there for a moment or two, or help to push it. But it looks as though it's being steadied down by Graham Ward now, still pulling pretty hard on the back of the Mobile Gate there, as you see the horses just swing into the back straight for about the 100-metre run to the start. So they're just moving in behind the Mobile barrier now, with Classical Gas, the favourite, taking its station up on the inside. Goes up towards the barrier as they get to the starting point. Shot Down keen to get on with it. They're racing, and Shot Down went out okay. Classical Gas showing a bit more acceleration though, and going up wider out on the track now. To be with them is Holy Chip. They were followed in behind them by Miss Fergie. A little wider out on the track, Speedy Bromac in the white cap, back on the inside to Leading Edge. In amongst those horses now is Triple Charm as they race out of the back straight. Maitland Gorge is 3 wide on the outside of Silko. It's 4 wide in fact, and back and behind those runners, steadying a bit, is Leading Edge. Apollo getting past it, and so too in the centre of those Mr. Hobnob, and they were followed back near the tail end of the field now by Oneida Splendour. Second to last is the Paragon, and back on the inside of that runner, welterweight, but it's a bunched field as they round into the straight, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of pace on in front. Holy Chip is the leader, and Holy Chip rounds the bend in front now, just narrowly, wider out on the track, going up to it is Speedy Bromac. They were followed in behind them by the favourite Classical Gas. Next in the middle is Mr. Bromac, and Miss Fergie rather, and moving up on the outside is Silco. It's followed by Apollo 3 wide. In behind those runners in the centre, in fact, as they come through the straight, is Triple Charm, and shot down back behind it. About 2 lengths further back, but wide on the track, is Maitland Gorge. In amongst them, Mr. Hobnob with leading edge up against the rail. It's followed by an Eden Splendour, pulling pretty hard back in the field, settling back to the Paragon and welterweight, but it's still a packed field, and there wouldn't be 8 lengths first to last as they round the bend out of the straight. Holy Chip, the leader in the inside, in the blue and green, and going up to join it, Silco. Breasts up outside the leader now. Classical Gas is getting the trail. Next on the outside now is Silky Bromac as they race into, or Speedy Bromac it is, as they race into the back, and Apollo goes round them 3 wide for Bob Nyan. Moving up also round the outside of those, it looks as though it could be Triple Charm. In amongst them or just behind them is Shot Down. Those 3 are all in similar colours. Next is Miss Fergie. They'll be more similar when they run at me, when they're covered in mud. Back in behind those runners then as they travel down the back was Leading Edge, 1,000 to go. Up on the outside, Mr. Hobnob being pushed ahead by Ken Barron. It's followed by an Eden Splendour. Now Maitland Gorge has got over to the rail outside at the Paragon and welterweight. They head down the back straight, travel towards the 800 metres. Holy Chip still by about 3/4 of a length the leader. So it bowls along out of the back now. Right beside it, Triple Charm, and going around the outside of those to be fairly handy is Miss Fergie, and wider in the track, Mr. Hobnob. They were followed in the centre by Speedy Bromac. In between horses then was Triple Charm, I didn't already mention it, and the Classical Gas just on the inside of it. Eden Splendour in the red and black and the white cap on the outside. Shot down back on the inside, and Apollo's in the centre. They were followed around then by Leading Edge. Back behind them, Silco's lost its place, also well back as welterweight, and Maitland Gorge as they swing into line. Just on 300 metres to go as they straighten up, and Holy Chip now dashes away. Classical Gas is going to have the last challenge. It's still 3 lengths away though, and Rick May getting to work on it. A bit further back on the inside, they were followed through by Triple Charm, and wider out on Eden Splendour. That's starting to romp home pretty well. Holy Chip in front, Classical Gas trying to wear it down, and Eden Splendour wider of the track, maybe going to head them all off the winning post coming up. Eden Splendour right on the outside gets home to win it. Holy Chip, and followed home by Classical Gas. The Paragon coming from the back of the field. Leading Edge was next, followed then by Triple Charm. They were followed after Leading Edge by Apollo, then Silco. Back behind them, Mr. Hobnob, Miss Fergie. It was followed home then by Shot Down and Speedy Bromac, with gaps back to the other 2, Maitland Gorge the inside and welterweight the outer when they crossed the line. Well, the outside horse, Eden Splendour, has got home to win it. Colin de Philippi at his best, and she's come down the outside in grand style to get up and catch the leader, Holy Chip, just before the winning post came up. Horses just returning from the main highway end. We catch them on the winning post you see here, and just as the slow motion replay pauses to stop as they've passed the post, you can see Eden Splendour in those familiar Michael House colours that Matthew Lee races in, of course. The red and black and white getting up to take it off Holy Chip on the inside, and the favourite Classical Gas, yet another minor placing. Will he ever win a race, Classical Gas? Well, I dare say he's a big enough horse, and he's only a 3-year-old, so there'll be plenty for him to come. And just as Colin de Philippi brings the winner back, we'll head north once again to Alexander Fields.
Thanks very much, Rion. A bit of mud about down there. Race number 9, the Eulogy Club 1360, courtesy of Burlington. Number 10, Gold Spring, has moved from $12.90 into $10.60. 18, Quality Princess, from 12s out to 14s. 16, Westerly, from $8.70 out to $9.40. Barbaroli's moved out a little bit to $9.65. That's number 17. Number 5, Create Havoc, has moved in a couple of dollars to $17.95, and number 12, Perda Bell, moved out a couple to $23.70. Through the market here, 1 Lancia, $6.80 and $3 even. 2 is out, 3 Perilous Wish at 45 and 10. 4 True Zephyr, $11.60 and $3.80. 5 Create Havoc at $17 and $5.20. Number 6, Joe, at 5 and $1.90. 8, Bozina, 36 and 10. Number 9, Flight Timer, 32 and $9.70. 10, Gold Spring, $10.60 and $3.50. 11, Macroom at $10.85 and $3.80. Number 12, Perda Bell at 23 and $7.10. 14 Tickled Pink at 25 and 750. 15 Vivi at 15 and 490. 16 Westerly at 940 and 295. 17 Barbaroli 965 and 290. 18 Quality Princess at 14 and 430. 19 Bonjoric at 17 and $6.30. 20, 21 and 22 are out. The track specialist, and he's a class horse. 1 start on the track, lands here for 1 win, and at the distance 1 for 1. I'm expecting him to run a big race. Fresh Up. And the trialist, Joe, was very impressive.